It's good to be live again. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. I got a gem of a reaction video today. We're going to react to a new Bitcoin enthusiast slash MSTY MicroStrategy YieldMax covered call ETF shill that I found on X, formerly known as Twitter. Thank you, Elon Musk. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being patient and bearing with me as I go on a lot of vacations and travel and do a bunch of army cool stuff. And now we're back to YouTube grifting. So let's go ahead and react to this video. I'm going to give you a professional response to this Bitcoin slash MSTY shill. And you're going to hopefully learn something today about legitimate long-term investing, which I think the knowledge of is severely deficient in our modern society. So, who is this man? Who is this hero? Well, there's a guy named Adam Livingston. Let's make sure we're sharing. I always get paranoid about that. It's this guy named Adam Livingston. Oh, I'm Livingston. And he says, MSTY, the greatest income product ever. Okay. MSTY is a synthetic covered call ETF on the company MicroStrategy, which itself is a levered Bitcoin investment. So you're investing in a synthetic covered call ETF that is backed by a company that borrows huge amounts of money to buy Bitcoin, which is an amazing asset that is just going to go up forever into infinity. That's MSTY. I break down the insane mechanics behind the YieldMax MSTY ETF. It's a synthetic covered call ETF. They use some options to recreate the movements of MicroStrategy. And they have a bunch of treasuries, and then they sell calls on that. Wow, amazing. So sophisticated. The most aggressive, brilliantly engineered Bitcoin volatility siphon. Yeah, he's siphoning your money. On Wall Street, MSTY is generating 100+% headline yields from Michael Saylor, Bitcoin nuclear reactor. Oh, so MicroStrategy isn't just a company that buys Bitcoin. No, it's a nuclear reactor. Okay. So let's see what this guy has to say. I've never heard of this dude. I love his hair. I love his little frohawk. Hold on. I don't know why he's muted here. I love his little frohawk. I could see a 5-year-old wear that haircut. MSTY, siphoning cash flow from the Bitcoin nuclear reactor. What do we got? Like a 15-minute presentation? Let's go ahead and see what old buddy boy has to say.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the end of capitalism as you knew it. My name is Adam Livingston, and I am your #1 source for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Treasury Company analysis.
This is the end of capitalism as you know it. I 100% agree. Capitalism, at least on the surface, is about free and fair competition where a bunch of peoples and, companies come together and they compete in a free market without government interference. And they compete, and the best company eventually wins and becomes, the provider of the best product. That's capitalism, free market, blah, blah. Now we have corrupt dystopian grift capitalism where companies, individuals, organizations vie for government power and government endorsement, and the government backstops those corporations and those organizations, and it creates a moral hazard where these organizations can take massive risks and do massive degenerate things with the full faith and credit of the United States government behind them, and there's no consequences. And I think we're kind of getting there slowly but surely with Bitcoin.
We are living in the middle of the greatest wealth transfer in human history. So if you want to take part and stay ahead of the curve with cutting-edge commentary and analysis, please like this video, share it with your friends, repost it, and subscribe to my channel to support my work. Another way to...
This is the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. And the reason I say that is because the average American doesn't have a lot of money. You really don't have a lot of investable cash throughout your lifetime. And it's critical that you deploy that money into solid investments like, I don't know, a total market index or maybe some treasuries for short-term liquidity needs. And what the corporations and the government are doing is they're siphoning every last dollar they can from the average man via grift capitalism and deception and leaving the average person broke. You ever notice people are always complaining about inflation and not having enough money? It's because they're being plundered by a coordinated, sophisticated grift. And I'm not saying this man's part of it, but, or maybe I am. Let's keep watching.
Support my work is to buy my book on Amazon, The Great Harvest, AI Labor, and the Bitcoin Lifeline. It is a book about how AI and Bitcoin are going to interplay in the future. It is fascinating stuff. #1 bestseller on theory of economics on Amazon right now. I have another massive
God help us.
cup of coffee today, so I'm going to bring the energy. Because today we're not talking about some sleepy little dividend stock yielding 3% while the world burns. We're talking about MSTY, the financial equivalent of hooking a garden hose into a nuclear reactor and drinking directly from the core.
You know, a stock that yields 3% might actually be a fantastic stock. You know, maybe the company has solid earnings that can actually support the dividend, and the company can last and grow for the next 20 or 30 or 40 years. And over time, that dividend will increase because the company's underlying profits will increase. It's not necessarily about the yield, okay? A company that has a 1% dividend can be a better investment than a company that has a 100% dividend, because it's all about the fundamental underlying earnings and their future growth and how much of those earnings you as a shareholder are going to get. That's what matters, okay? Not the dividend yield in and of itself. You should never look at the dividend yield. It's a trailing metric. That's all it is, okay? A company could pay a massive dividend on a one-off event, and you could look at the past and say, wow, look at that dividend yield. It's 50%, and then it never pays a dividend again. What did you do? You made a huge mistake because you're going off dividend yield. It's about the future profits of your investment. That's all that matters. Or you could just buy BT.
You see, Michael Saylor has built himself what I call the Bitcoin nuclear reactor, over 580,000 BTC sitting on Strategy's balance sheet. He is a futuristic warlord hoarding uranium while the fiat world disintegrates. MSTY is the brilliant little rats that figured out how to sneak into the reactor and siphon off the heat. No mining rigs, no cold storage, no self-custody, just pure weaponized volatility extraction.
No, it sells covered calls on MicroStrategy. Oh, genius. Wow, that's so sick. How do you do that?
This is radiation harvesting, so if you're sitting there wondering, is that safe? No, it's not safe, but it is spectacular. This is why you're here, because you are smart enough to know that the old world is dead, but you still want the cash flows. MSTY delivers exactly.
The old world is not dead, okay? U.S. corporations are posting massive profits. Okay, society's still functioning. I mean, yeah, there's always been problems in the world. The whole world is not dead. I mean, if you're literally holding on to cash, yeah, you're probably not going to do very well in the long run. But if you purchase the means of production, if you purchase the entire global market and you hold it, you are a partial owner of all of those companies and all of their future profits. And you can apply that to any ETF. VTI, VOO, QQQ. It doesn't matter. You are a partial owner of the means of production. And that is how you will increase or at least maintain wealth in an inflationary environment. Okay? That's all you have to do. You don't need to buy a cryptocurrency that literally just exists. That's it. It exists. Oh, wow. Look at this receipt right here. Oh, it exists. And buy my receipt, bro. There's only one. This receipt is dated June 28th. There's no other receipt like this. That's $156 for parking. It's going to be $1 trillion one day because of limited supply. That's Bitcoin.
That structured, high-octane, option-fueled cash sprays directly out of Bitcoin's heart, all neatly packaged into a fully regulated, SEC-compliant ETF wrapper that grandma can buy on Fidelity. This is...
Okay. I think he wrote this with AI because, like, I did a couple, like, spoof videos where I had ChatGPT write me a video script. This kind of sounds like ChatGPT wrote this script. I'm not saying it did, but it really does sound like it. Ooh, you just got to be excited. I'm excited, bro.
This is where the yield comes from now. The reactor, the volatility, the machine. Let's dig in. Here's what we're dealing with. The ticker is MSTY. YieldMax's MSTR Income Strategy ETF. Rolls right off the tongue. Launch date, February 22nd, 2024. It's been around for a year and 4 months. And in classic American fashion, its assets under management have ballooned into $4.19 billion already. That's demand for yield, or more accurately, desperation.
Okay, launched February. So Bitcoin has been on a crazy bull market. And because MicroStrategy borrows money to buy Bitcoin, obviously it's done extremely well in the short term. Assets under management, that's $4 billion. Expense ratio, 1%. Okay, so YieldMax is getting 1% of that $4 billion every single year from you. And they're selling covered calls on synthetic MicroStrategy investments. Wow. And then last but not least, we have the distribution rate, 135%. Distribution is not a dividend. Distribution is not a dividend. Distribution is not a dividend. You give me $100, I give you back 50. That's what, a 50% distribution? Guess what? Was that $50 income? No, it wasn't. I gave you your money back. So what YieldMax does, it's very simple. They make some money, hopefully, on their ETFs. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on the stock. And they pay you back a huge distribution. And what they want you to think, this is my suspicion, maybe I'm wrong, they want you to think you're getting the entire payment as a dividend or a profit. It's not. It's a return of capital. It's partially a return of capital and it's partially a profit. But you in your brain, you get that dividend and you think, or that distribution, excuse me, I got to watch my words here. You get that distribution, you think you're making it passive income. No, you give me $50, you give me $100, I make $10 on that. Now I've got 110, I give you back 60. Is all of that 60 profit? No, it's not. Go look at the financial statements. I know you can't read them. Go look at the financial statements of these ETFs before you really get tricked with these distribution yields. Okay, but what am I? What do I know about financial statements? You know, it's all dividend, bro. It's all profit.
The sponsor and the sub-advisor are Tidal ETF Services and Aziga Financial. You've probably never heard of them. Doesn't matter. These guys know how to farm volatility better than most pension funds know how to buy T-bills. The expense ratio is...
He totally wrote this with AI. I can tell.
0.99% because, of course, you're going to pay a 1% fee for the privilege of gambling inside a Bitcoin reactor safely. The 30-day SEC yield is roughly 3%, but let's be clear, that's only the vanilla yield. The option premiums are where the real party is.
Oh, it's only the vanilla yield, or maybe it's the real yield? I would trust the SEC yield, Securities and Exchange Commission. I would trust that yield over whatever MicroStrategy pulls out or whatever YieldMax pulls out of their bungholes.
Yes. The headline distribution rates, 135% at a $22 net asset value. This is the part that makes the boomers clutch their pearls. They see this number and think it's a scam. It's not. It's simply volatility monetization run through an options blender that spits out cash like a slot machine in Macau. Understand something right now. MSTY does not own a single Satoshi. It just feeds off the options market surrounding Saylor's MSTR, which itself is leveraged to Bitcoin, which itself is devouring the fiat system.
Bitcoin is not devouring the fiat system. People are buying into a bubble. It's as simple as that. They see it go up, they buy into it. Wall Street promotes it because they want you to buy into the ETFs because they can charge fees. Coinbase loves when you invest in crypto because they get a cut of every buy and sell. Robinhood loves it. Payment for order flow, cryptocurrency, bro. They all love it. They love crypto. They're making a fortune. And you're not. Well, of course, you know what? You are, because you can show your selective returns for a selective period of time, even though you got destroyed in 2022. Now you're a genius, but somehow your net worth never really goes up. Interesting.
Is financial parasitum at its most elegant. And that's just the fast facts. The real genius is when we get inside the mechanics, which we'll hit next. All right, now let's open up the hood and look at the engine of sin that MSTY feeds on. First, you've got the core fuel rod strategy. They're sitting on 580K BTC. That's right. 500,000 Bitcoin hoarded like it's a medieval grain silo before a famine. Saylor built himself a corporate state with more pristine capital than all sovereign nations. The man is playing a completely different game.
Can you at least credit ChatGPT for writing this for you, bro? Just at least give them a shout out. Okay? It's not nice to not give credit when credit's due.
Next, the heat source. Because MSTR is not just holding Bitcoin, MSTR is leveraged Bitcoin. Every time Bitcoin moves, MSTR moves like it's on methamphetamine. We're talking implied volatility over 100%. And yes, I am aware it isn't right now, but it often is. Calm down. This thing doesn't trade like an equity. It trades like a biotech stock crossed with a crypto meme coin.
MicroStrategy could potentially probably be a zero in a vicious bear market. MicroStrategy, if Bitcoin goes through a bear market, could be annihilated. The equity of the shareholders could be annihilated once crypto drops. Okay? Because they have a lot of liabilities. They've been borrowing money to buy crypto. And if that asset value drops precipitously, you may find a situation on your balance sheet where you have more liabilities than assets. What does that sound like to you? Oh, the equity's been exterminated.
With a little sprinkler of nuclear weapons grade derivatives. And then we get to the turbine, MSTY's secret sauce. MSTY sells 30-day at-the-money calls, then buys further out of the money calls to cap tail risk. In plain English, they sell insurance to gamblers, pocket the premiums, and then buy just enough upside protection in case Sailor does something insane, which, let's be honest, is kind of his whole brand. And then...
Okay, so they're selling calls and then they're buying calls. So they get the options premium from the call that they sell, and then they get a little bit of upside, assuming it goes up when they buy a call. But if it goes down, the call expires worthless, right? Yeah. There's lots of ways this thing can lose money. Lots of ways. But it went up, bruh.
And finally, the steam is the electricity. The options premiums they harvest are swept into monthly cash distributions like reactor heat turning water into megawatts. That's your 135% headline yield right there. Not dividends, not bond interest, just pure monetized volatility, sliced up and handed back to you every 30 days like a payday advance from the end of the world. You are operating a regulated volatility siphon inside the Bitcoin Death Star. And the best part, most of the world thinks this is some cute little income play. No, this is financial war profiteering. Now let's get hyper specific. Here's how the MSTY income machine actually prints these monster distributions. Number one, they write ATM calls. They sell options right at the money. Why? Because that's where the theta decay is the most savage. Time is the enemy of the buyer, but MSTY is the seller. Every hour that passes bleeds value directly into the fund's pocket. It's like charging rent on the passage of time itself. Number two.
Wow, it's free money. It's so easy. Why is everybody else doing this?
To buy out of the money calls. This is your seatbelt. If Sailor wakes up one morning, takes out another $1 billion convertible, buys 30,000 more BTC, and triggers an MSTR vertical candle, MSTY doesn't get completely vaporized. The OTM calls kick in to cap catastrophic upside losses. And number three, they hold cash and T-bills as collateral. This is the key. No margin drag. MSTY isn't levering up. They're just farming premium while parking the cash safely in T-bills. The collateral structure is clean, simple, and liquid. And then they roll every 4 weeks. They keep the decay engine running at maximum speed. Every 4 weeks, the trade resets. New premiums and fresh theta bleed. This isn't set and forget. This is industrialized perpetual option farming. The result is synthetic covered call income without holding a single share of MSTR or...
So nobody else at Wall Street has figured this out, except for YieldMax. They found the secret sauce. It's that easy. If you could actually get 133% returns, that would be arbitraged away so fast you wouldn't even know what hit you. Right? Maybe? No, maybe, or maybe all the hedge funds are just stupid. They don't know what's going on here. Yeah. Retail though, they know what's going on.
Or a single Bitcoin sat. It's like running a casino where you don't own any of the slot machines, but you take a piece of every losing bet. Okay, now let's talk about the part everyone fixates on, the distributions, the dopamine hit, the drug. Here's the most recent...
I love his terms. They are so appropriate for what's going on here.
And payout history. Today, June 4th, 2025, 6.5%. May 2025, 10.8% monthly yield. April, 6.1. March, 6.3. And February, 9.5. January, 9.9. December, 14.1. And November, 20.4%. And your reaction is probably, is this legal? How is this possible? Are they running a Ponzi scheme? No, they're not. They are harvesting volatility premiums during one of the most unstable macro environments in modern financial history. Bitcoin volatility is nuclear. MSTR.
One of the most unstable macro environments in history. We've had the Great Depression, World War I, World War II. Half the world fell under communism. Oh, we're in the most unstable time in history. Where do these people come up with this? Only somebody that has never picked up a history book could actually fall for this nonsense.
Leverage absurd. Options market demand for MSTR contracts insatiable. This isn't some sleepy dividend stock handing you 3% a year. This is month after month of weaponized option premium being vacuumed out of MSTR and wired straight into your account. And if you're wondering why the payout fluctuates, it's simple. When volatility is hot, premium balloons. When volatility cools, premium shrinks. You're not getting a fixed yield, you're renting space inside of a volatility furnace. But wait, it gets better. 59% of all distributions so far have been classified as return of capital. What does that mean?
What? What? God. Oh my God. I almost fainted there. 59% return of capital? What does that mean? Let's see.
It means that Uncle Sam doesn't take his cut up front. It means you're deferring taxes until you sell the position. It
means you're getting your own money back, moron.
Means the government is politely stepping aside while you siphon reactor heat and kick the tax down the road. This is a financial cheat code that's fully legal because it's structured inside an ETF wrapper. Now let's talk about what really...
Yeah, and it reduces your basis. So when you sell it, you're going to have a massive gain. And you're going to get hit massively on taxes. So yeah, you're deferring the taxes, sure, but return of capital is you getting your investment back. Okay, if you invest $100 and then you get 50 back immediately, well, your net investment's only $50, right? Oh, I've deferred taxes, bro. You just got your money back. Why are you giving me my money back? Well, why are you doing that, YieldMax? Why don't you keep my money and make more money from that? That's interesting. Why do you insist on giving me a lot of my own money back? What are you trying to do here?
Matters to rich people, taxes or how not to pay them. MSTY isn't just a volatility harvesting machine, it is also a tax deferral weapon. As I just explained, the majority of...
Or, buying a total market index that has like legitimate sustainable yields, that's also a tax deferral because most of it's capital gains. Yeah. Oh, it's a genius way to save taxes. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's many better ways to save taxes than MicroStrategy or MSTY.
Of distributions so far are classified as return of capital. They're not taxable income today. They simply reduce your cost basis. The tax event only hits when you sell your shares. Let's call this what it is. It's Wall Street style estate planning for the middle class. Box 3 on your 1099 div is where the magic lives. The IRS politely sits there watching you collect ROC distributions, knowing full well they'll only get paid years later or maybe never if your heirs get a cost basis step up. That's the edge. This isn't ordinary income. This isn't qualified dividends. This is option premium vaporized into tax-deferred yield. Gift wrap in an ETF that Schwab, Fidelity, and Robinhood will gladly let you buy with one click. MSTY is giving you access to the kinds of tax strategies that are usually reserved for private equity.
Oh, stop. Stop it right freaking now. Private equity. No, they're playing an illusion. They're playing a game with you. Okay, you're not sophisticated buying MSTY. You're not joining the rich by having an ETF give you more money back than they need to create the illusion of passive income. You people really crack me up.
Hedge funds and family offices, but inside an SEC registered ETF financial wrapper that your financial advisor can recommend without getting sued. This is why the truly rich never sell anything. They simply borrow against appreciating assets, live off the cash flow, and let Uncle Sam play the waiting game. And now with MSTY, you get to play that game, but with Bitcoin volatility doing the heavy lifting. Now let's get tactical. How do you actually use MSTY in a portfolio? Let me give you 4 plays straight out of the Financial Arms.
Amit Kukrija who's a wonderful man. I endorse him fully. He's so smart. Was convinced to buy MSTY because of this. A ChatGPT generated video full of fluff and hype and nonsense. I mean, no, excuse me, amazing information. This guy's a genius. Look, he has a suit. I just have a t-shirt on with a man holding a banana in his hand. Who am I? This guy has a suit with a dehydrated pea-colored tie. I'm getting some water.
Dealer's playbook. Number 1, synthetic Bitcoin income. You want Bitcoin exposure, but you don't want cold storage, seed phrases, hardware wallets, or waking up at 2 a.m. to check if you got hacked. MSTY gives you indirect Bitcoin beta, not price exposure, but volatility exposure. And it spits out fat monthly cash flows. Number 2, pairs trade the casino playbook. Long MSTR for the upside torque, but short MSTY for the premium compression. You're playing both sides of the reactor. This is volatility arbitrage, the professional's game. You can use it as a yield bucket diversifier. Junk bonds, dead. Real estate investment trusts, slaughtered. And
you know what? If you had to choose between MSTY and a diversified real estate investment trust, or maybe like VNQ, the Vanguard real estate ETF, I would not financial advice, but I'd probably consider the real estate investment trusts.
dividend stocks are, let's be honest, just absolutely pathetic. MSTY offers yield that's uncorrelated.
It's real. Okay, I'd rather get a pathetic dividend that's a real dividend and not a return of capital that's based on a synthetic derivative of a levered Bitcoin ETF. I mean, I really, you know what, man, I really appreciate you bringing this to our attention. You're a good guy. I'm about to break into tears because you're really helping retail recover from all the plundering that Wall Street has done in the last decade and a half. I can't thank you enough, Amin.
To credit spreads. You're farming option premiums instead of lending money to zombie corporations that need Fed bailouts every 36 months. And then you could use it as a covered call substitute. Maybe you like covered calls but don't want to manually write, roll, and babysit your positions. MSTY automates the entire process and hands you the monthly distributions. It's fully outsourced industrial grade option selling. We love Bitcoin, don't we, folks? Welcome to the future of yield. All right, folks, let's stop pretending this is a free lunch. If you're harvesting this kind of cash flow, you better know where the bodies are buried. This is the MSTY risk dashboard, also known as here's how you get vaporized if you don't understand what you own. There is a cap.
Wow, capped upside and full downside. Sounds like a deal.
Upside. If MSTR goes full sailor mode, if Bitcoin hits 250K tomorrow, MSTY's upside is capped. You sold the upside. That's why you're getting paid. You sold the lottery ticket to someone else for premium. That's the price of harvesting volatility. You trade infinite upside for reliable monthly cash flow. There is full downside. This is important. If MSTR nukes down 30%, MSTY rides the elevator straight down with it.
And it will. Trust me, it isn't just Bitcoin. It's levered Bitcoin. Borrowed money. That's greater volatility. You will get clapped. You will get exterminated if we go into a Bitcoin bear market. I'm just giving you the word. Okay, I'm just warning you. You don't have to listen to me. You can laugh at me. Ha, ha, ha. You're not a trillionaire like Jeremy and me. Okay, that's fine. But never forget that I warned you.
The options premiums cushion a few percent, but make no mistake, you are structurally long MSTR's price chart. There is distribution variability. These monthly payouts aren't fixed. When implied volatility compresses sometimes, and it will, your juicy 10% might reduce down to 5 or 6. Volatility is oxygen. If vol dries up, the yield shrinks. Simple math. And then there's path dependency. This is not a set it and forget it index fund. Long bull runs with low volatility, you're gonna bleed. Prolonged chop with elevated volatility, you'll feast. Your outcome depends entirely on the behavior of Bitcoin and MSTR's implied volatility over time. Yes, daily liquidity exists on paper, but if everyone heads for the exits at once, option market capacity could get bottlenecked fast. If the derivatives pit seizes up, liquidity dries up, and spreads widen, the exits get ugly. Let's be honest.
Dried up, widen, just like your girlfriend.
MSTY is not for boomers.
And I don't think this guy has a girl. I don't think this. I would be shocked if this guy got any cheeks. I'm just saying.
Clipping bond coupons. It's for people who understand that yield is never free. You're just getting paid to shoulder very specific slices of risk. Now let's line this thing up against your other options, because I promise you there's nothing else in the public markets quite like this. If you're holding MSTR directly, you get full Bitcoin torque, but no income. If you're buying spot Bitcoin, you get pristine monetary asset exposure, but again, no cash flow. Remember, MSTR is the levered version of the spot Bitcoin. Owning a traditional covered call ETF, you get watered down yield on sleepy blue chip stocks, but nowhere near the volatility premiums. And
I would go with the sleepy blue chip stops. That's just my recommendation, not financial advice. Oh shit. Oops, sorry.
You get full Bitcoin torque, but no income. If you're buying spot Bitcoin, you get pristine monetary asset exposure, but again, no cash flow. Remember, MSTR is the levered version of the spot Bitcoin. Owning a traditional covered call ETF, you get watered down yield on sleepy blue chip stocks, but nowhere near the volatility premiums MSTY extracts. And then with MSTY, you're sitting inside the Bitcoin volatility reactor, siphoning triple-digit annualized yield, tax-deferred, fully liquid, professionally managed, no cold storage, no custody issues, and no margin calls. This is not better or worse.
This video is sponsored by YieldMax. They're going to be flying this clown out to ring the bell. He's going to be on the little picture in Wall Street. Or, I don't know where it is. There's like a place in New York where you can there's like a screen and you can go like this and they take a picture of you, or they have like a little video of you and you could be famous and cool for a couple seconds. He's going to be there doing that for YieldMax. What a shill. What a chat GBT fueled shill. There is no doubt in my mind this whole thing is chat GBT generated. And you just got to put a suit on and shill the most popular thing that has fake dividends, and you get fluffed by the big finance influencers.
This is an entirely different financial species, and that's what Bitcoin is allowing. MSTY is Bitcoin volatility packaged as income. Now let's talk about why this game is just getting started, why MSTY exists in a flywheel that's still accelerating. We have the Bitcoin halving every 4 years. That means the float has tightened since April 2024. Daily new Bitcoin issuance is dropping while institutional vacuum cleaners keep sucking up supply. Less float equals tighter markets, and that equals higher implied volatility on both Bitcoin and MSTR. The reactor core gets hotter. Strategy's next BTC purchases, Sailor is now financing Bitcoin buys with convertible preferreds, Strike, Strife, and Stride. These capital stack weapons allow him to buy more BTC while minimizing common stock dilution. Every new BTC
wow, he's looking out for the common shareholders. What a nice guy.
purchase amplifies MSTR's volatility profile, which MSTY then harvests. And then coming soon is the fair value accounting. Corporate Bitcoin holdings will move to fair value marks on balance sheets. For companies like Strategy, this means balance sheet volatility goes nuclear. And you...
Okay, look. It doesn't matter what it says on the balance sheet. They should have never done this. Okay? What the accounting industry should have done, what the SEC should have done, is if you purchase cryptocurrency, you should immediately record a 100% impairment of the value of the cryptocurrency. That should be the accounting standard. You should immediately write it off, because what you did is you took real assets and you purchased fake garbage assets that are inherently worthless. You should instantly write it off. And there should be no more accounting after that point. That's my opinion of how crypto should be accounted for. Now we're doing fair value. So Bitcoin vertical lines. Oh my, look at my balance sheet. I've got so many assets. Well, guess what? If Bitcoin collapses, that's going to utterly destroy your balance sheet and your profit and loss. So you're going to see people's income statements. They're just going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, and you're going to see wild fluctuations in profit and loss of these companies. And you're going to have to siphon through and exclude the Bitcoin fair value adjustments to figure out what the company's actual profits are. The real profits of what the company actually does. Like what MicroStrategy does. Like what do they do? Like software? It's nonsense. This is clownery. No. Immediate 100% impairment of all cryptocurrency. with no future fair value adjustments. There you go. Nominate me as the head of the SEC. I'm a genius accountant.
You guessed it, more volatility equals fatter option premiums equals bigger MSTY yields. YieldMax is already experimenting with weekly pay versions of these funds. That means even deeper derivative liquidity and even faster premium recycling. The entire model becomes even more aggressive with faster distribution cycles. The point is simple. This is a volatility refinery attached to a nuclear core that keeps getting upgraded. The more Bitcoin financializes, the more derivatives spin up, the more MSTY thrives. Let me make this as clear as possible. MSTY is a volatility siphon. It plugs a hose directly into Michael Saylor's 580K Bitcoin reactor. It converts violent price swings into monthly cash flow. It allows retail.
We live in scary times. Like, this will, 100 years from now, this time will be in the history books. And I will be in the history books as the one genius that called it out. Yeah, sure. But seriously, this is crazy.
Investors to access institutional grade volatility harvesting that used to be reserved for hedge funds. It monetizes the chaos of Bitcoin without ever touching a single sat. It operates fully inside regulated markets, inside retirement accounts with daily liquidity, fully transparent. And it does all of this while politely deferring your tax bill through ROC mechanics. But, and this is where you need to be.
I love that last part. Oh, it's a private equity. Oh, deferring of taxes like the rich. No, they're creating the illusion of income. That's what they're doing.
Intellectually honest, this is not a free lunch. You are not buying safety. You are renting risk exposure inside the reactor. Handle it with respect. MSTY is a power tool, not a savings account. But remember, savings accounts are for 6-year-olds with Pokemon-themed wallets. You can get rich, you can't.
False. What? A savings account is a very important part of your financial plan, you idiot. Excuse my language. You should have a savings account with some money in it or like a money market fund. What if you have a big bill come up? Oh, why do I need money in my savings account that doesn't fluctuate wildly and could go to zero in a bear market? I'm going to put it in MSTY. No, you definitely need a savings account or a money market fund. Couple months of expenses. Okay, really depends on your financial situation, the volatility of your income. This guy's mocking savings accounts? This is not good. This is not good.
Can get vaporized. You can do both simultaneously. But one thing is for certain, as long as Bitcoin volatility exists, MSTY will keep siphoning reactor heat into cash flow. Welcome to the new frontier of yield.
I feel like the world's gone insane. I'm the only sane person left. I really, that's how I feel. Call me crazy. Oh God, sorry, I've got a cough. Freaking New Orleans really messed me up. All right, let's do some comments. You want a response to your comments? Join and become a member. Epsis, my stepsis. Why don't they promote legit covered call ETF, which prove they can deliver consistent results like JEPQ? Because JEPQ doesn't have insanely high distribution yields. They literally chase the highest number. That's what they're doing. Oh, look at that. Oh. How did Amit go from working at Amazon warehouse 2 years ago, as recently as when Fuhat debated him and asked him if he's reading a finance book, to become a millionaire and accredited investor? Gil, if you haven't learned by now how this works, I don't know what to do, okay? I don't understand, like, do you worship, like, the acquisition of wealth at any cost? If you do, then Amit is your example, okay? If you want to, build wealth responsibly over time and provide legitimate value to society, I don't know, maybe watch somebody else besides Amit, okay? I don't care if Amit's rich. The dudes are evil. They're all evil. They're scum. They're not good people, okay? You can fluff all the clown stocks and get paid massively for it. That doesn't mean you're a good person. That's the American way. Is that how powerful YouTube finance scripting is, or did he have a winning strategy like not Dan was stated? No, if you rise to the top of the YouTube griftosphere, yeah, you're going to print. You are going to print money. All the guys are at the top. They cannot lose because YouTube has that backstop. Oh, excuse me. Don't people use the all-time window on charge to see in 2000? MicroStrategy had, well, no. People only use the window that suits their narrative. And yes, MicroStrategy did the same thing during the dot-com bubble. It went up in a vertical line, and then it went straight down in a vertical line. Absolutely imploded. And I'm not saying past performance is indicative of future performance, but I believe the future of MicroStrategy will be what happened in the dot-com bubble. But people don't, like I said, they pick time frames to suit their narrative. It's any grifter. You know, they could have total returns that are negative, but they could show you one stock that did well, you know, in the past year to date and say, well, look at this stock that I bought. It's crushed the S&P. I'm a genius. I mean, if you don't see it by now, I don't know what to I don't know what to tell you. Sup, Alan Carlson. All right, we're shilling stocks here. Why are we doing that? Adam Livingston is Meet Kevin from, dude, that guy, that was pure ChatGPT. 100%. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Water went down the wrong pipe. Alan Carlson, you see my comment. Gil, I thought you were in QQQ. I thought you were in Berkshire. What happened, bro? I said we all got to sell because it's unsafe and something happened. All right, Gil's throwing out stock tips here. If this script is AI, it proves how useless AI is. Oh, it's 100%. That was AI. 100%. I can tell you because I did it. I mean, it's so easy. You go on ChatGPT. You can do the free version. And you say, generate me a bull case for MicroStrategy and tie it into an example of a nuclear reactor. And it spits out this huge thing. And you say, okay, make it a 45-minute presentation. And then you can edit it a little bit. And then you just read the script. That's what the guy did. Yeah, the guy's a weirdo. That's a weird dude. Some guys, man, I would not have a beer with that man. That's all I'm going to say about him. Strongman, could dividend investors go into debt if the MSTY ETF goes bankrupt and has lots? No. The worst you'll have is equity wipeout. Bragging about Bitcoin valuation. Okay, let me go back to that comment. Do not borrow money to buy MSTY. Don't buy MSTY at all. But definitely don't borrow money to buy MSTY. Because then, yes, you can be in debt. Like a personal loan, like somebody I've heard about. Bragging about Bitcoin valuation is like jumping off a 30-story building and screaming, I'm making progress as you pass the 12. Dude, like, if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Okay, I've come to terms with this. Like, I'll change a couple people's minds, but what can you do? You know, you put the information out there, either people listen to it and they absorb it and they have functioning brains, or they buy into the scam. And, you know, the more that Bitcoin goes up, the more people like capitulate. What you're seeing is like total capitulation, total FOMO capitulation. Everybody's piling in now because it's going up. And it really shows me like people that are like turning into Bitcoin shills now, it really shows me the quality of their understanding of investing. I pity people that are FOMOing into Bitcoin right now because they're literally buying into a scam bubble. This has happened throughout human history. This is no different. No different at all. It's the same story over and over and over again. And the winners are the ones that can stay rational during times of clownery. And we are in a time of clownery. There is no doubt in my mind. This market has me in awe. I cannot believe what is going on. I'm laughing. I'm like, VT's like touching 130. I'm like, is this real? But the funny thing is, you know, if you're a total market index investor, you can't lose. You're never going to lose. And if we have a collapse in the market next year, guess what? You're going to be just fine. But the people that are buying this nonsense, the millionaires, they're not going to be millionaires after that. It dumped, but institutions see a chance to squeeze. Dude, Wall Street's making a fortune off Bitcoin. A fortune. Wall Street's evil. I've been saying this since I started this channel. The Bitcoin bull happened in 2013 to 2015. This is a gigantic capital destroying bubble now. It's capital destruction for retail. That's all it is. Retail, the average man will lose again. I am predicting that, and I will be 100% right. Wall Street is making a killing. I hope you made a fortune with Bitcoin, but it will crash. At least won't lose. It's a gambling tool. If you want to gamble, okay, buy Bitcoin. You can make money because you buy it. It goes up and you sell it. Yeah, you can make money off Bitcoin. But you got to know the game you're playing. People are buying into this like it's legit. That's the problem. I'm sure this nitwit knows all, but oh yeah, Mr. Chat GBT, oh, private. And I mean, I'm not a private equity guy. Okay. I'm an accountant. I've never worked in private equity. I don't care. But you know, whenever people like want to convince you that you're buying something special, oh, it's like private equity, bro. They try to make you feel special. Like you're getting the inside scoop that only rich people get. You know, when somebody's saying that to you, you should be a little concerned. And yes, I'm only responding to member comments. Blow me. Synthetic income. I love when he did the cut. Oh, it's only 59% return of capital. Does this dude have a box of cringy idioms behind his? No, it's Chat GBT, dude. It's all Chat. He didn't write us. He didn't write 10% of that script. My portfolio holdings are as follows: MicroStrategy, MSTY. What is MSTY? Is that? I don't know what MSTY is. I mean, it's some kind of MicroStrategy thing in Bitcoin. I like your portfolio, bro. You're richer than me, probably. Everybody's rich except me. I'm poor. Everybody in the United States is a millionaire, except everybody on YouTube. All my commenters are millionaires. Every YouTube finance grifter is a millionaire. Every child in the world that has a Robinhood account is a millionaire. I'm the only non-millionaire in the United States of America. And soon, when everybody buys Bitcoin, I will be the only non-millionaire in the world. Literally all 8 billion people will be millionaires, except for me. That is a fact. Okay? And I'm really upset about that. I'm very mad. I might FOMO into Bitcoin now. 21 million Bitcoin times 10 million per coin equals $210 trillion valuation. GDP of the United States. Well, Bitcoin could go anywhere, bro. I mean, it could, dude. It does. This is financial clown world. I wouldn't be, if it goes to 1 million, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. It's strategy gets, it's strategy. It's not MicroStrategy. It's strategy. This Misty guy is like a virgin explaining clapping. Savings account. No, they're not, Gil. Okay. You just realize your non-taxable and 401k IRA accounts are a scam. Trust me. No, look, Gil. 401k and non-taxable accounts are not a scam. They are not good if you need liquidity before 59.5. Okay. I'm glad I have money in my IRA and 401k. That's going to grow tax-free forever. And now, because I'm seeking self-employment, I need some money in taxable accounts. And I have money in taxable accounts. But it's not a scam. It's only a scam if you think that the only purpose of the account is to, like, you know, screw people over. That's not true. Those accounts were created because people are so stupid that they cannot save money. And the only way the government can make people save money for the long run was to force them to put money into these accounts that penalize you for taking money out. It's not a scam. But for somebody that has short-term liquidity needs, yes, it's not a good idea. I can agree with that, but it's not a scam. Wrong, you're wrong. This guy, saving accounts are worthless trash. No, they're not. You need an emergency fund. You don't have to have $1 billion in there, but you should have liquidity. You need liquidity. The new frontier of his struggle against reality. Gawk, gawk, making you cough, cough. Maybe it is. Maybe I slurped on too many dongy dongs. Bruh, my brother, bye. You need to have a little chat with your brother there, buddy. You need to have a hard conversation. Financial advice me harder, BB. Oh, it hurts so good. When will we see you in a debate against the financial elite? Never. Amit, Tanner, Chris Patel, Steve with 800 stock. The financial elite. I know you're joking with them. But the funny thing is, these guys are the financial elite now for the younger generations. Like, oh my God, this is crazy. Oh man, woo! I'm having a good time. I'm definitely not a trillion billion millionaire. Oh, you just keep buying Bitcoin, you will be. Okay. More like the financial Three Stooges. Guys, it's bad out there. It's so bad, but it's fun to come on here. I really enjoy it. I'll never quit YouTube. It's so much fun. Like, I'm having a ball. And if this market ever ends, this clown market, which God help us, dude, this thing could go for years and years, and you just keep going. Okay. Look at the 1920s, man. Like, that bubble just went and went and went. But when it popped, it was devastation. It was utter evisceration, annihilation. It was bad. Same thing happened in Japan. And I think it's happening here. Okay. Some very concerning things going on. But if you stay the course, this is so easy. Stay the course. Buy DCA to your favorite ETF and hold it forever. That's all you have to do. Ignore the noise. Don't get FOMO into this nonsense. You will be fine. Even if your stonks go down, trust me, I don't think the total world's going to zero. If it did, you'd be cooked. Okay. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. That was a good little reaction. Good little warm up for getting back into the groove. I've been a very busy boy. I've been a very, very busy boy. An army, this, that. Kids, blah, blah, blah. But I just published a members only video making fun of Amit Kukurija because, of course, Amit is shilling Misty. Of course he is. Of course. How could I ever doubt that Amit Kukurija would shill Misty? I was a fool to think that Amit Kukurija would never, ever shill Misty. So here he is freaking shilling it, fluffing it, trying to get in Sailor's good graces. And that's just how it is, And I'm just very bitter. I'm very poor right now. It sucks being poor. Everybody's getting rich except for me. I mean, look, I live in a 3-bedroom townhouse. I don't even have bed sheets. I don't even have bed sheets. I'm a loser. All I can afford for my kids is Walmart oatmeal. I'm a failure because I didn't buy Bitcoin. My great-grandchildren will remember me as a total fraud that missed the obvious signs of the future of finance. And everybody in the future will be a Bitcoin hodler. We'll all just have Bitcoin and we won't invest in anything else. And Bitcoin will be $100 gazillion and we'll all be rich. Okay. But no, the reason I don't have bed sheets, my son, because I had my kids last night, we woke up this morning. I go downstairs. I'm making them breakfast. And this mother effer is dragging my bed sheets all the way downstairs. He's like, dragging the bed sheets downstairs. So funny. So I got to bring him back up before I go to bed. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, join a member. You get exclusive content. You get priority responses to comments. If you're not a member, I'm not responding to your comments. I'm sorry. Okay, you pay me $4.99 a month and I'll respond to your comments. Okay, this is not a charity. This is not a charity. Have a wonderful night.